Thank you everyone for joining on such a short notice. Without any further delay, we will try to remember Shri Hanuman on this very auspicious occasion of Shri Hanuman Janmotsav. So let's start without any further delay. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. By remembering all the acharyas in Vedic disciplic succession, we will begin our remembrance for Shri Hanuman. As much we can see in this today's very short span of session, Shri Hanuman gives us the formula for achieving success in this path of bhakti. He exemplifies how a true hero has to be a perfect blend of qualities. How he has been, if we think about all the wonderful feats and deeds he have done, is insurmountable. It's beyond our conception. His strength combined with sweetness, his humor flavored with gravity, his fierce determination was laced with very gentle humility. Whatever we are going to discuss today is mostly based on Vedic tales. There are countless folk tales about Sri Hanuman, but especially for today's session, to honor one of the astute devotee of the Lord, we will basically be relying on what our acharyas have spoken. We will try to cover 2 or 3 main topics in this short session. How the birth take place, which itself is a combination of 2, 3 stories, pastimes. What are the blessings Sri Hanuman receives in his childhood when he tries to swallow sun god? I think these 2 topics are enough itself for the session today. So the story begins when King Dasharath in Ayodhya was trying to perform the sacrifice suggested and guided by sages as per the processes of scriptures. And in front of everyone, he saw personality coming out of the sacrificial fire, having golden pot of sweet payasam in his hand. Although the personality emerged from the fire, the pot itself was cool, and so were its contents. King Dashrath scooped up a portion of the sweet payasam thrice and dropped it into the open palms of his 3 wives, the 3 principal queens. But just as he was about to drop the last portion into the palms of Sumitra, a massive eagle swooped down and snatched a small portion of the payasam and flew away. So we are talking about the birth of Hanuman. But the story begins where the Lord Rama was about to be born. So everyone there was bewildered and was trying to evaluate the after effect of this incident. They were hoping and praying that it didn't mean anything inauspicious. King actually consulted with sages present there and tried to find the meaning out of it. When King Dashrath asked about it, the sages pointed out, do not worry. For such a highly secure assembly of sages, this incident doesn't appear normal. It cannot be an ordinary bird. It has to be Garuna. And the sages were right. It was Garuna. Then where did Garuna go? Garuna actually flew off to a distant land where something special was happening. This was the mystical land of Kishkinda in the southern part of the country, where a very pious lady named Anjana, she was the wife of Kesari, the king of the monkey clan. She was worshipping, ardently praying for a son who would be the greatest hero of the world. She was praying for someone who would assist humanity in ways unheard of. Garuna opened his claws and with a splash, he put the paisam into the open palms of Anjana. Anjana, she was astonished. She looked in, but in front of her, she saw the divine angel gazing at her mercifully. She thought for a while and then tried to convince herself that it seems Lord has reciprocated to her prayer. So she showed the gratitude. She accepted the paisam. And Acharya says as soon as the paisam entered her body, she could actually feel a change in herself. She felt she's pregnant with the force of the god. She didn't feel normal self anymore. She thought of praying, waiting, and patiently relying on the mercy of God. And actually, the paisam, which is supposed to be a mean reason for Lord Rama to take place and enact his pastime this material world, a portion of that goes, a part of it is attributed as the cause of reason of story for the birth of Shri Hanuman. Another pastimes which contribute for the possible and reliable reason for the birth of Hanuman is linked with none other than Lord Shiva. As usual, once upon a time, Lord Shiva was meditating for hundreds and thousands of years. He was in a trance and nobody around him knew when he would open his eyes. But then Just out of everyone's amusement, they heard a mysterious secret sound. Lord Shiva woke up from his trance and said, Ram, Ram, Ram. Whoever was present was completely surprised. What does this mean? How is it linked to what is going to happen in future? Lord Shiva looked around. He glanced mercifully, and then he saw his gorgeous wife, Devi Sati. As soon as Sati saw Lord Shiva, to resolve everyone's query, she asked, what is this linked to? What's the new plan? And Shiva informed her, Lord Vishnu is going to incarnate soon on this earth to annihilate the demonic forces. He's going to end Ravana and put an end to his atrocities. He wants demigods to take birth as monkeys to assist him in his Leela. And to himself he said, I don't want to miss this opportunity, Devi Sati. This is a golden chance. I will expend myself to participate in this Ram Leela. So here we are hearing one source as the Paisam story. The second source is taking place now. Lord Shiva himself is narrating it in front of Devi Sati and all the associated servants, sages, demigods. When Devi Sati heard, she was extremely saddened. She felt her husband is never with her. Either he is meditating in trance or he is serving the Lord. Still being composed, she wanted to know what form Lord Shiva is going to take now. She asked, not in a very confident voice, but a bit doubtful. Don't you think first time you are going to do something unfair? Shiva looked at her and said, what do you mean? She said, on one hand, you have offered so many boons to Ravana. So you are trying to appear as his well wisher. And on the other hand, you are planning to join the plot to destroy him? Shiva smiled. Lord Shiva smiled at her innocence and inquisitiveness. Without further delay, he mentioned that you are right. Ravan had managed to please my 10 expansions or Rudras, but he had actually dissatisfied and angered my 11th expansion. So, my 11th expansion would incarnate on earth as the son of Anjana and would be known as Hanuman. So, this is the second pastime which is taking place for the mystical birth of Lord Hanuman. Sati was satisfied. She was impressed, as always, with her husband's intelligence. She want, she also wanted to, desired to serve Lord Rama. And so she said, when you take birth as Hanuman, can I expend myself to participate in this Ram Leela? Lord Shiva thought for a while and asked, how can you accompany me? Devi Sati said, if you are planning to expend yourself into a monkey to participate in Ramalila, I would like to accompany you in your service by taking the form of your tail. Shiva was more than happy to agree to this proposal. And this is how Shiv and Sati became a part in Lord Rama's pastime. So after this conversation, both of them actually transformed into monkey and began enjoying conjugal pastime. Their union converged into an energetic conception that Lord Shiva handed over to Vayu, the wind god. Lord Shiva asked wind god to deliver it at the appropriate time to Mother Anjana. But wind god was not very sure of his ability. How long can he handle the power bestowed on him? He actually took help from seven sages, Saptarishis, and requested them to handle the conception of Lord Shiva till the appropriate time arrives. Seven sages brought a metal leaf from the Mandakini Ganga and placed the powerful energy in it. They assured wind god of its safety. They continued the custody, and at a later time, when wind god arrived, they handed over back to him. So this is how the stories are taking place. The Paisam story, Garuna, is giving a portion of Paisam to Mother Anjana. And behind this pastime, another pastime has taken up place, where Shiva and Sati unites together in the ecstasy of enacting to be monkeys in forthcoming pastime of Lord Rama. So with their union, the inconceivable energy conception generated is handed over by Lord Shiva to Vayudev, wind god, who is taking the help of sages, seven sages, to maintain it till the time Anjana arrives. Now, how did Mother Anjana, come on this earth? So there is another embedded pastime. Mother Anjana actually used to be in heavenly planets, but once upon a time, she received curse from Guru Brihaspati. She mischievously behaved and did not demonstrated the appropriate behavior. Because of that, Guru Brihaspati cursed her to be a monkey in the earthly realm. So, Mother Anjana in her previous life was actually Punjikasthali, living in the heavenly planet. So, when she was reborn on earth as Mother Anjana, she was Anjana only at that point of time, being respectful because she is the mother of none other than Shri Hanuman. So, over the time, she got married to Vanara king named Kesari. And even after many years of their marriage, they didn't have any child. So Anjana is doing the austerity in Kiskindha, where Garun comes. So this is how the pastimes are connected. And Kesari, Anjana's husband, is actually visiting one pilgrimage to another one just to get the mercy and blessings from each and every devotee of the Lord. Once upon a time, when he reached Gokarna, he found that a monster named Shambasadan was torturing innocent sages. He actually challenged the demon, and after a gruesome fight, he was able to slay him by hitting him forcefully on his chest. The sages were very pleased. They collectively blessed him that you would receive a powerful son who will be the protector of the innocent and destroyer of evil in this world. So, this is how the events are taking place. Anjana is praying separately, Kesri is praying separately. Lord Shiva wants to be part of the journey. Vishnu himself has planned the portion of Payasam to be handed over to Mother Anjana. And with the combination of all this, the very empowered, we can imagine how empowered Hanuman is going to be. 11th portion of Rudransha, part of Lord Shiva himself, sharing the same Payasam through which Lord Rama is going to arrive and then says his blessings. Now, one mystery is still left. Why he is called Wind God's son, Pavanaputra. So, if we go back in memory, we know Wind God was protecting the energy, powerful energy given to him by Shiva. So, when Anjana is praying, he actually covers Anjana. After observing that she has really purified enough to receive the grace of Lord Shiva. When Anjana felt an invisible force is taking hold of her, she panicked. She began to scream, and she was about to curse the one who was responsible for it. At that moment, suddenly, when God appears in front of her and explains that he has come under the direction of Lord Shiva to offer her the child that would be the greatest hero of the world has ever seen. That's why the very first superhero is our Shri Hanuman, not Batman, not Spider Man, not Ant Man, or howsoever man is called. It's Hanuman. Our Acharya says Hanuman is actually the first superhero. When wind god explained this entire thing to Anjana, she gracefully accepted the powerful conception. So these three, four combinations, whatsoever way we want to list it down, Paisam, Shiva, Vayudev, wind god, Shambhasadan, Kesari praying to Shiva and getting the blessings from sages, all this turned into a supreme, powerful potency who is going to serve the supreme personality of Godhead. In due course of the time, the world's greatest superhero, Shri Hanuman, is born. Does the story finishes here? One more mystery is left. What is that? Actually, when Hanumanji is born, he is born with earrings in his ear. And many a times we want to ask this question, where does this earring came from? Why he had it since his birth? So Acharyas explain that when Anjana was pregnant, Bali, Sugriev's elder brother, heard about it. He himself was a king. Kesari was king. One day, Narad Muni has entered in his kingdom, in Bali's kingdom, and informed him soon there are rumors that an expansion of Lord Shiva was to be born. He's residing in the womb of Anjana, the wife of King Kesari. And it is said that he's going to be the greatest hero on the earth. His strength would surpass your strength. He will be 1,000 times more powerful and stronger than you. Bali felt devastated. He panicked for a while, but he said, a danger is only a danger if it is not evaded. If I can remove it right now, the child is not yet born. He thought to act intelligently in his own eyes. So he entered the palace of Kesari very quietly. And the lady who was taking care of Mother Anjana, the one who used to cater the diet needs of pregnant ladies, he took that lady by his side. He asked her to make a special dish. He actually gave her something to be included in a certain proportion. When the servant lady saw that, she became terrified. How on the earth someone can do like that? She knew it was wrong. It was terribly wrong because she was going to feed a heavily pregnant woman a drink comprising of five metals: gold, copper, iron, tin, and zinc. Even one of it was enough to kill the child. All five might kill the mother as well. But out of fear, out of greed, she actually gave that drink to Anjana. Anjana gulped it down. She just drank it as if it was the healthy drink. When the lady was taking the glass back from the queen, she really tried to compose herself by not giving any expression. She really waited for a few more minutes just to see the effect, but nothing was there. She didn't know what to do. She walked back to the kitchen. Throughout that day, she was very uncomfortable. She was desperately waiting to see some change, to hear some noise, but actually nothing happened. And next day, when Queen Anjana was taken to the labor room because her contraction had started, the lady actually expected the news of a miscarriage. She managed to get inside the delivery room. She was waiting something different to be witnessing, but nothing happened. And after a few hours, she heard the cry of a newborn. She ran into the room to actually see the child who had been miraculously saved from death. But to her utter surprise, when she looked at the child, she was the one about to be fainted. Why? Because the monkey baby was smiling at her. He was born with earrings made of an alloy of all those five metals. So instead of destroying him, these metals ended up adorning him. They decorated. So this is how our Shri Hanuman is born. Once the child is in this planet, this material world, he was still enacting all the spiritual pastime. Shri Hanuman in his childhood caused the first ever power cut in the history of the heavens. One fine day, everybody was in utter chaos. Everywhere was extreme darkness. Everybody was clueless about this power cut. When Indra came to know it via one of his security guard who was still stumbling trying to find out his way to reach out to demigods, especially the head of demigods, Indra. He was partially illuminated by the fire of Agnidev. He said, I have a very bad news for you. A monkey child has swallowed the sun, thinking it to be a big red fruit. Oh, people had their mouth open, eyes widespread. What is this? What are you talking about? Are you in your senses? Something is wrong with you. The guard said, oh, you don't believe me? Actually, it's not only sun god that monkey child swallowed. It was the time of the eclipse, and Rahu had come to swallow the sun at the same time. When he saw that baby monkey had swallowed, he tried to argue with the baby monkey about his rights. And what did the baby monkey do? He actually took Rahu, considered him another big fruit, and caught him also. So now there is everywhere utter confusion and shock. Please do something to bring all these things in control. Indra couldn't believe it. It appeared to him as a horrific tale. He said, let's go. Let's see the baby. While he was saying that, he actually felt the baby zooming towards him like a comet. Indra could believe that no extraordinary human can do this. It is something more than that. It is very special. He actually got panicked too. He just took his Vajra, he hit it right at the square of the chin, baby's chin. The jawbone cracked and the baby monkey fell unconscious. In this operation, actually, his mouth opened, sun god and Rahu rushed out of it. The demigods felt relieved. The sun was about to restore the original position, but something more disastrous was on its way. Indra had not taken any opinion from Brihaspati, his guru, or Brahma. As a result, another catastrophe struck. The air circulation system stopped. Nobody was able to breathe. There was utter confusion once again. In front of Indra, he has no clue why this was happening. But this time, he decided to consult Lord Brahma for his practical wisdom. When Brahma heard this, he didn't appear pleased. He warned demigods. He said, this baby monkey is actually none other than the son of Vayu. He's also known as Anjaneya. He is, in fact, an expansion of Lord Shiva. He is going to play a very pivotal role in the destruction of Ravana. Now you have heard Wind God's son. So he is protesting by withdrawing all air from the universe. So his personal suffering has now led to the universal suffering. And by saying that, Lord Brahma urged all the demigods to accompany him in reviving the child and making the wind god happy. So this is how the story is proceeding now. To me or to any one of us, actually, Hanuman is just innocent. What can he do? He has so much power. He's trying to exhaust it to some extent. It's beyond our imagination. We have so many children around. We can ask them, does anyone of willing to go to sun god and swallow just considering it to be a big fruit? Not possible. Not possible. So Brahma reminded demigods that Lord is actually descending to help you all out. And you hurt one of his dearest associate. So they all decided to go to the place where fainted Hanuman was lying. Lord Brahma took a few drops of holy water from his kamandalu and rubbed his hands over the child's body. Within a moment, the child sat up actually. When Brahma saw the broken jaw, he said, from this day on, you will be known as Hanuman. Hanu means jaw, this chin part. And this will remind everyone about your wonderful feat in the childhood. Since you are son of wind god, you will also be known as Marutasut, Pavanaputra, Maruti. He asked other demigods to bless the child. Indra was the first one to come forward after Brahma. He said, now your body has become solid like my Vajra, because Vajra has touched you. So your another name would be Vajrangi or Bajrangi, the way we call it. Nobody will ever be able to kill or even defeat. You are actually not bound by the laws of nature. So Indra is saying, in my territory, no rule applies to you. A few other demigods came forward. Fire god Agni Dev gave him the boon that fire would never affect him. And where was it useful? He used this boon to burn the entire Lanka. Says Brihaspati, bestowed upon him the knowledge of Ayurveda, all the fruits, plants, trees, herbs in this world. And where did it help? It helped to find the medicinal herbs when Lakshman, Lakshman was fainted. Dhanvantari provided him the healing touch. Vishwakarma, the celestial architect, gifted him with unbelievable intelligence, clarity of thought, and creativity. His father Vayudev blessed him with the power of speed. Sun god, he offered him to teach all the Vedas at an appropriate time. And when almost everybody was done, Lord Brahma came forward. He came again to bless the child. He placed a diamond necklace around Hanuman's neck. He said, now I'll give you the highest benediction you can get, my child. You will be the eternal servant of the Lord. This diamond necklace, Brahma said, which I am placing around your neck, will remain invisible to the eyes of the world. But the one who recognizes this necklace will be none other than the Lord Ram himself. The monkey child, our Hanuman, had been serious so far during all this blessing until Brahma said these words that you will become the eternal servitor of the Lord. The Lord will recognize you. Acharya says, at that moment, Hanuman began to beam. He was so pleased to hear about Lord Rama. But on a funnier note, he thought, if after such a small mischief, I'm getting so many blessings, it is actually worth to try more. So this is how Hanuman is born. Hanuman received so many blessings. But the third part of the childhood and where we will conclude the session is that with more power comes more responsibility. Hanuman took the paisam of Lord Ram's and performed based on that paisam the kind of energy, the potency, the power he received. He performed and enacted the pastime which was going to be performed by the Lord in Krishna Leela. So God, so he took birth from the same prasad and is performing the pastime which Lord would perform in the next yuga. What was the pastime? He was troubling everyone. He was doing the innocent mistakes. He was so restless. He was taking sages too casually. He was picking up the stuff, throwing somewhere else. In fact, Kesari and Anjana were very worried. Every day, Hanuman would go to the river bank side, looking out for new ways to harass people. The sages, who were very strict in their austerities, were actually his soft target. He did all this for fun. His restless mind was only working when he was engaged with these kind of tasks. Sometimes, if he saw sages standing next to the river bank and offering prayers to the sun god with closed eyes, he would jump into the soldier size and pull the beard. He will take water in his mouth and just put it on sage's face. Actually, all this is being run by Lord's plan. So it continued for some time. Then sages decided to protect Hanuman. The sages never harm. They decided to protect. They said, you won't remember any of these boons. Why? Because it will keep you engaged to do more and more and more problematic tantrums. The sage said, you would forget all your powers until and unless reminded about them by someone else. But who will be that someone else? It was none other than Brahma himself, who became Jambavan in that pastime, and at an appropriate moment, he reminded him, yes, you can cross the ocean. You can come back. Only you can do this. So, this is how, in this short session, we tried to cover three areas: stories behind the mystical birth of Shri Hanuman, swallowing the sun pastime, the blessings he received from all the demigods, and then forgetting those blessings by the curse given by sages. So we will stop here as of now, but I do expect some of the questions and inquiries. So I'll mute myself and we all can write it down in the chat box.